Ahoy there, everyone, and welcome. Ready to dive into some serious marine engineering.
Sounds like a plan. We're going deep below deck today.
We're talking way more than just steering ships. This is about the guts, how it works, the whole shebang. We've got our hands on some awesome RoleCatcher articles to guide us.
Oh yeah, career guide. Marine engineer, that's a good one. And don't forget, ace your interviews. Crucial stuff.
Right. Plus, streamline your job search. It's all connected. So if you're thinking, can I design the engine room of a megaship? Or how does a submarine not get crushed, like way down there? You've come to the right place.
It's all about what makes these maritime marvels tick. Let's say you've always been fascinated by the ocean, but also, like, how things work.
This is for you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What does a marine engineer do all day? I'm picturing greasy overalls, giant wrenches.
There's some of that, sure. But look at this what they do section. It's way more than fixing stuff. Marine engineers, they're the brains behind the whole system.
Keeping it afloat, keeping it moving.
Exactly. Engines, propellers, electrical grids, you name it. It all has to work together seamlessly.
In this crazy environment. Salt water, rough seas, no room for error. So it's problem solving under pressure, but also, like you said, designing the systems in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. Think of a massive container ship crossing the Pacific. Can't exactly pull over if something goes wrong, right?
No kidding. So you need that foresight, the what-if thinking. This guide mentions everything from propulsion systems to steering gear. Bet that takes some serious physics know-how.
You got it. Buoyancy, for example, that's basic marine engineering 101.
Right, making sure the thing floats. I once tried to build a raft out of milk cartons. Let's just say, buoyancy and I have a history.
Well, luckily, these engineers have got the math down. It's not just displacement, either. You've got to factor in the hull shape, the weight distribution.
Even the water itself changes, right?
Yeah.
Depending on where you are.
Exactly. Temperature, salinity, it all affects density. These guys use some serious calculations, computer models, the whole 9 yards to make sure that vessel stays afloat no matter what the sea throws at it.
Now that is impressive. And it's not just cargo ships either, right? This guide mentions all sorts of vessels.
Oh, the variety is incredible. One day you're working on a luxury yacht, all sleek and fast.
Next day, it's a research vessel with sonar and underwater robots.
Or even a submarine, exploring the deepest, darkest.
Okay, that's just cool. Talk about a range of projects, the stories you could tell. Battling a rogue wave while rewiring the sonar, no biggie.
Right. It takes a special breed to handle that life.
Yeah.
Not your average 9 to 5, that's for sure. You're out there with the elements, gotta be adaptable.
And resilient. Speaking of which, the guide mentions some big changes coming to marine engineering, especially the eco-friendly stuff. That's got to be huge.
Absolutely. Sustainability is the name of the game now. We're seeing more and more ships powered by LNG, liquefied natural gas.
Burns cleaner, right. Better for the planet.
Exactly. Plus, shipbuilders are getting really creative with the designs themselves. I'm talking special hull coatings to reduce friction.
So they just glide through the water. Less drag, better mileage. I like it. What about automation, though? Is that shaking things up?
Big time. Automation's changing how ships are designed, operated, the works. Think systems that monitor engine performance in real time.
No more waiting for something to break down. You can anticipate problems before they even happen.
Exactly. Predictive maintenance, it's the future. Which brings us to skills. Sure, the guide talks about the usual degrees, mechanical engineering, ocean
When
engineering.
they have that foundation.
Absolutely. But hands-on experience, that's more important than ever. Internships, apprenticeships, anything to get your hands dirty. Literally.
And that's where those other RoleCatcher articles come in, right? The whole job hunting thing.
Right on. Because, let's face it, the job market, it can be intimidating. So many applicants. How do you stand out?
Especially with those AI screeners, right? You practically need to code your resume just to get noticed.
That's where RoleCatcher comes in. Imagine having a tool that analyzes job descriptions for you, tells you exactly what skills to highlight on your CV.
No more guessing games. Tell me more.
It's all about making sure your experience aligns with what employers are looking for. And then there's the interview, the dreaded interview.
Ugh, don't get me started. My palms are sweating just thinking about it.
But what if you could practice beforehand? RoleCatcher have this AI-powered interview practice. It's amazing. You answer questions, get feedback on your delivery.
Like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It's all about using these tools to your advantage, showing them what you're made of. What about you? What stood out to you most about what it takes to succeed in this field?
Honestly, the ingenuity, it blows my mind. Knowing the theory is one thing, but then applying it to these massive, complex vessels. It's incredible, isn't it? And we're only scratching the surface. Think underwater habitats, offshore wind farms.
We're even taking inspiration from nautical engineering for spacecraft design now.
It's an exciting time to be involved in this field, that's for sure. Blending ancient knowledge with cutting-edge tech.
Makes you wonder, what kind of impact will you, the listener, make on the future of marine engineering?
That's the question, isn't it? Whether you're passionate about sustainable shipping, deep-sea exploration, or the nuts and bolts of automation.
There's a place for everyone in this field.
And with tools like RoleCatcher, you can chart a course for success.
It really is amazing, taking that knowledge and actually building something that can handle, like, hurricane-force winds. It's one thing to understand buoyancy, but to actually apply it, it's a whole other level. And we're just getting started, really. Think about it. Underwater habitats, those massive offshore wind farms they're building.
We're even using what we know about ships to design spacecraft.
The future of marine engineering, it's wide open. Who knows what we'll be building next?
Exactly. So to everyone listening, what kind of mark are you going to make on this field? It's a big ocean out there, full of possibilities.
No matter what you're passionate about, whether it's designing eco-friendly ships or exploring the deepest trenches.
Or just figuring out how to make all this incredible tech work together, there's a place for you in marine engineering.
Absolutely. And with resources like RoleCatcher, you don't have to navigate those waters alone.
They've got your back.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, from the basics, like why things float, to the crazy high-tech stuff that's changing the game.
Marine engineers, they're tackling some of the biggest challenges out there.
Yeah.
Sustainability, automation, you name it.
It's an industry that's been around forever, but it's also constantly evolving.
And that's exciting.
It really is. So, listeners, one last thought before we go. The ocean is vast, the possibilities are endless, and the future of marine engineering, it's still being written. So what role will you play? That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Until next time, fair winds and following seas.